Buenas a los que no me conocen, mi nombre es Masejo. Espero que van a disfrutar este video y al final, por favor, recuerden a dar like y suscribir a mi canal. Yes, guys, I speak Spanish. I just thought I should make an introduction in Spanish. Yeah, just to break the ice.
I know you've heard it all before, but you are the love of my life.
I am going to make a video today about Cuba, my experience and everything Cuba and me. Yeah, so obviously I made a couple of notes so that I can like remember not to speak there and there, just as I said in the previous video. So Cuba, a question that I really get a lot is, how do we apply? How did you get to go to Cuba and all of that? It was in 2012 when my aunt saw an advert in the newspaper and told me that I should apply for Cuba, and I was super excited but also very nervous because the application said I had to have a passport. So I was not sure what am I going to do, because I think I saw it the day before closing. So the same day in the morning I went there and got application forms. I remember there was this lady who told me, you have to have a passport, you know that, right? Or at least a proof that you have applied for a passport. And I was like, yeah, I know that. Girl, I did not know anything. So I got the application forms, filled in the application forms, went to the police station, did affidavits, you know, that my mom is unemployed, and she's a single parent. My dad had passed away. So I did that, and then I told my aunt about the passport thing, and she's like, okay, it's fine, I'll meet you up at Home Affairs so that you can do your passport. We were fighting with that guy from Home Affairs because he was taking ugly pictures of me. If I were to show you my passport, anyway. So I got there, did the passport. At least I had proof that I had applied for a passport, and then I went to drop off the application forms. And then life went on for a couple of months. I was just not sure what was going on. Then I received a phone call, but I couldn't take the call. I was in class. I was doing biochemistry in University of Northwest. Yeah, I was busy, good classing, listening to things that I don't even remember. I was not paying attention, guys. I did not like that course. I did not understand anything. So I was just there because I was supposed to be there. And then the next time I saw my aunt walk in, like I was up there, you know, in this lecture house. I was up there, and then I saw my aunt walk in at the door. My heart skipped. I was like, oh my god, where's my mom? When I went there, I asked, where's my mom, you know, and she said, no, you have to go to an interview fast. Okay, she took me to the interview, and yeah, it was, I don't think I was scared. I didn't get time to get scared because I missed the call for the interview. They've been trying to get a hold of me, so they didn't give me enough time to be worried. Yo, what are you gonna ask me or whatever? I was just grabbed and taken in for the interview. So I didn't even have time to get worried or anything. So yeah, I went for the interview, and there was a huge panel. I was asked questions. The thing is, like I always say, guys, I like to organize things. I like to plan ahead. I like to dream. Like when I apply for a job, even now, I start visualizing myself living there, the direction. I don't know. Sometimes it's healthy, sometimes it's not healthy, you know. So I apply. I was already Googling Cuba. I knew most of the things about Cuba, the medicine, like all things positive about Cuba. How's their medicine, the rates, they had good maternal mortality rate were good, all of that. So I looked up all those things. So that's what I was talking about. And I was in my whole, I would love to come back and save my community, work for my community era, you know, a black girl's dream, you know, a black girl's dream, every black girl's dream, that's going to study medicine. Like, we never do it because whatever, you just feel like, you know, I wanna help, you know, because that's what we know doctors do. Yeah. So, and then the second time they called me was for blood tests. I don't know if I can put this here-ish. What was for blood tests? They did an HIV test, pregnancy test, and other bloods. I think the liver tests. I didn't care. I was just happy that I had been called, you know, the second shortlisting. So they called us, and then after that we these things are happening like in months apart, you know, and then we were called to Pretoria so that we can attend like a seminar kind of situation. Was I not upset when I got there and saw people, like the department was doing passports for them? I'm like, where's that lady? The department was doing passports for people, guys, and I had to pay. I had to like be scared, but anyway, that was my journey, I guess. Like, I still think about it, and I wish I still remember that woman's face, because wow. And then we went for orientation. I thought now we're going to Cuba and we're going for orientation. We were booked at a hotel. I forgot the name of it in Mafikeng, and it was 10 of us. So, but we were 10 of another like group of thousands. So what happened is they used to take 10 per province, except the Western Cape. They would take 10 students to go and study in Cuba, but in our year things changed. That's when there were thousands and thousands of learners going to Cuba to go and study. You know, from KZN, I think they brought the largest number. From Northwest, we were a lot, but now we were going to be divided in the provinces and in Havana. So that was like literally the first time the department has taken students, South African students, to go and study in Havana. Yes. So it was only the 10 of us, because that's the first group. I was in the first group that has been shortlisted and did the interview orientation. So we went there. It was nice. We got to know each other. Just 10 of us. We had so much fun. I think it was 2 days. I'm not quite sure. For a weekend, I'm not quite sure. Yeah. And then we left for Cuba. I remember on my birthday. It was my birthday, guys. I was so excited. I did not care about any, like, nothing mattered. My mom was crying. I was like, girl, you'll be strong. Nothing mattered. I just wanted to see myself on that plane. Yeah, I wanted to see myself on the plane to Cuba. That was all I was interested in. I just felt like, yeah, no, it's about time, you know? It's about time. I've been praying about this. I've been like super excited. I had planned, I have an idea in my head how Cuba looks like and where I'm gonna stay, my, you know, my little room. That's all. I was so happy that, you know, on my birthday I get to do something different, and I get to go to the airport, and the best thing ever, I get to be on a plane, you know, flying international. I don't think it even mattered where I was flying. I just was happy to be on a plane. My birthday, yeah. I was 19 years old on that day, and we flew to Cuba. So our coordinator at the airport tells us that they cannot go with us anymore and that we have to go alone. I do not think that mattered. We had lunch and then we were ready to go. My mom was crying, but she didn't show it a lot yet. And we were just excited to go. So we were told to wear the green jackets. They made tracksuits for us, the green jackets, when we get to Paris, so that the other guy from Cuba, like when we land in Cuba, they can recognize us. So we flew to Paris. We waited, I think, 11 hours or 10 hours at the airport. The airport is quite big. We were still in limbo, man. It was nice. We're in an airport, very, very expensive. I was not about to spend the little money that I had. So we just chilled. I think I slept even. That was a lot of time. And then we had to fly again to Cuba for another 11 hours. So all in all, it's like 22 hours to get to Cuba, you know. So when we got to the airport at Cuba, yeah, no. Here in Paris, they could speak English, and in Cuba, I don't know, they said pasaporte, but I don't think they said pasaporte. I think maybe they said the ID or something, because I mean, okay, now I think I'm thinking that if they said passport, I would have had it, but honestly, I think they said passport, and I still did not understand what they were saying, obviously. Yeah, also the accent and everything. So yeah, we arrived, and then we had to we got the guy, and we had to drive to Sabala Grande. That's where we did our language. Yeah, it was 10 of us. We were going to Sabala Grande. Guys, the air when you get there, it's so humid that I could hardly breathe. It was so humid because it's an island. Then it gets hot, but the heat is not dry heat like the one in South Africa. It gets like super dry. It's so humid and moist. It was very weird. And yeah, we got on a bus, and we were on our way to Saguala Grande. From the airport to Saguala Grande, I think it's about 5 hours. About 5 hours. It didn't matter, man. We were still in limbo. We're sleeping. I was sleeping. We got to Saguala Grande, the institution, and we had the ladies that were working there waiting for us. The principal, I don't know if no, the rector. What am I saying, principal? The rector was there, the vice rector, they were just waiting for us. They were waiting for us, and yeah, so we went to have something to eat. Yeah, no, that's when reality kicks in. Well, not necessarily, because we're still like, oh, maybe, they were tired. So we got like a small cup of coffee, very, very strong and black. And then they had this buns. They were small and square. We just thought, maybe it's just, snacking. Guys, reality hit. Cuba is a different country. Beautiful. Cuba has its own culture. Cuba has their own way. Like, the people there have their own way of doing things that a 19-year-old obviously cannot comprehend well, So that is why we had people still complaining, we want pap, we want this, but unfortunately Cuba is their own country, I believe if someone comes from anywhere and coming to South Africa, it will also be like a culture shock, So yeah, that's when we arrived. So Sabala Grande is a small, I don't know what to call it, Kasi. A small town. So Sabala Grande is a small town where the hospital is closed, town is closed. I didn't really go anywhere, we just used to go to the clinic to get vaccinated, and we were under quarantine when we arrived for malaria, just in case we have malaria and other disease. So you just quarantine for, I think it was 14 days. It was the longest 14 days ever, because we wanted to get out there, to go and see what's going on, So yeah, we'd go for immunizations and come back. Immunization, the hepatitis immunizations, and come back. And yeah, so the environment, it was quite peaceful when we got there, but we didn't know a lot, man. We just arrived there. It was hot, and yeah. So now it's time to start class, our day 1. So now we are going to learn Spanish for a whole year. When you get to class, the prof is already talking, is already speaking Spanish. Buenos días, que saquen la libreta, we're there now looking at each other, we don't know. Buenos días, mi nombre es Professor Mama, and this is what's gonna happen today. Ka Spanish. Now you just have to think, we take out the book, we put it there, okay, we see the actions, and then the books were quiet. I think that's what helped us learn the language super fast, because if you're surrounded, any language, I believe, if you're surrounded by people who speak the language all the time, you will get to know the language. Just as I was in KZN and I got to know Zulu, because I was constantly speaking the language, So we're there, and they would tell us that they would tell us to take out the books. We took out the books. In the books there were illustrations, you know, that this is a boy, this is a girl. Like we were back in primary school. This is a boy, this is a girl, this is a table, this is what. But then at the end we learned it. And then I remember my night out in Cuba for the first time. That's when I got this tattoo, guys. I hate it so much. So we went out clubbing. It was fun. We decided, let's go and get tattoos. We get tattooed, and yay, the rest is history. We even went the following day to go and have it fixed. Did that guy not make it worse? Yo, I'm not gonna show you the tattoo. You'll see it when I go and get a cover up. That's when I'll show it to you in detail, and then show you the cover up. I've been waiting, yo. So that was the night out. The people were very friendly at the park. We'd chill at the park, buy alcohol, drink, club, and yeah, like they used to say in Cuba, there were groups of people, you know, just as in South Africa. It's just that when we are a few number, the focus is a lot on you. That's why it would come out in the news that we are drinking a lot, but they would, oh, there was like too much of those that are going to church and all that, you know. But I believe in any community, by definition, there is always people that are drinking. There's always people that are in between, and there are people who are going to church a lot, and there are people, you know, there's always different types of people that come together and form a community. But then unfortunately, because we were few, you know, when one thing happens, it's so highlighted because we are just few, you know. So yeah, the people in Cuba were nice. The environment was doable, and the currency, they had two currencies, dollars and pesos. I know that I bought a swimsuit for $30. Yeah, they cheated me there because it was not supposed to be $30. $30, when I converted it later on, I realized, and when I thought it was cheap, like, you know, for me $30 was 30 rands. In my head, I did not even bother to check the currency or what's going on. The food, guys, it's completely different, and there's no pap. The way they cook their meals is different from the way that we are used to. It was really a culture shock, you know. It was really a culture shock. They have a different culture. Go Cuba, you can wear your bum shorts and walk around, and it was, people are unbothered by it, you know. It was, I don't know, but there's a lot of things that happen there that are different to how things happen in South Africa, and that was quite a culture shock for us. And I remember we went to Havana to go see the other students when they came, because they came, I think, a month after us. The other group that I said was going to Havana, the larger group, they went to Havana, and we went there. Hey, we were so happy, guys. We did not even know Spanish very well, but we got a car, hired a car, and drove to Havana to go see them, you know, and just get to know each other. People, even the students from the previous, like the year ahead of us, they would come and meet and greet us. It was so nice, like the welcoming, you know. It was really, really nice. And then what else? Yeah, now we are moving to first year, so we have to move from Savala Grande to move to 3 institutions, which is Cienfuegos, Santa Clara, and Santi Spiritus. I always wanted Santa Clara. So remember, by the time you get to choosing the institution, you have already visited, you know, them, and you know. So Santi Spiritus was full of the church goers. Cienfuegos was I would say it's by the ocean, and it's more fun, and like it was really, really fun in Cienfuegos. That's where we'd go for fun. And then there was Santa Clara. Santa Clara is just inland. That's where I wanted to go, and also the living arrangements at Santa Clara were quite different, and Cienfuegos, they were strict. Santi Spiritus, I think they were very strict back then. So I wanted to go to Santa Clara. Santa Clara, it was more flexible, and you know, you could move around easily, and the way that you lived in the rooms. Also, we wanted to cook, so we could cook in Santa Clara sometimes, but we used to like we were not allowed to sometimes, and because of the electricity, and we had to improvise, you know. So first year, second year, it was in classes, it was great. Very difficult because now we were learning medicine, you know, we're doing medicine. It was quite doable though, because in a class we were not a lot, so even explaining to us, it was really, really doable. It is really doable if you put your time and effort into it. I think I failed a module in second year, I'm not sure, I don't remember, and I had to rewrite it, but I managed to. Third year, now we are studying hospital life, guys. We feel like now we are doctors, you know, now we are doctors, let's go. So we go to the hospital, it's also nice, but the exams, you know, this thing of patients saying they have this and then changing when they see a professor, like when you're being asked questions, it's real, guys, it's super real, and it's not nice. Now imagine it happening to you in another language. You are there trying to explain it, then that person's like, and you're like, yo, what is going on? Because you're like, but you didn't tell me you had that. They only remember now when the prof is there asking you questions, like they're banging you, and now they only remember, oh no, now I have a headache also. Now it looks like you're incompetent, but otherwise it was well. The hospitals, we're not that busy. We were going, or we're not busy. Even when we were doing calls, our calls were just quite quiet, like they were quiet. And yeah, so final year, yippee, we are happy to go home, guys. Now it's the final year, we are ready to go home. We are tired. Let me tell you about the holidays. So we went to Cuba 2012. Our first holiday was in 2014 to come home for a month. It was really tough, for a month only. And now you have to go back. In that month, you have to buy clothes, you have to, you know, see people and everything, and then you have to go back to Cuba because you have to go back to school. So that month, it was really, really sad, man. You know, you want to come home for all this time, you know, you've been on the phone talking to them, can't wait to see your mom and everything, and then now boom, you have to stay just for a month. So that was 2014, and then after 2014 they said that we have to come after 3 years. Oh, did we not cry and try to fight it and everything? But we failed, you know. Other provinces, I think they allowed, but my province did not allow. So we stayed with Cuba for 3 years. So it was 2015, 16, 17. That's when we went home, and we went home for only a month. And then we came for orientation. So orientation, basically they put you in the hospitals in South Africa so that you can be able to see, you know, how it was like. Now for me, it was really, I don't really have a lot of memory of thinking it's orientation. No, not really, not in the hospital. There was like not a lot of order in terms of people who were taking care of us. No, I remember the meetings, yes, but inside the hospital itself, you know, when people are busy working and they want to finish working, and then you are there with your backpack trying to understand why a green joke or why so yeah, it was really difficult. And then yeah, but the nice thing about going home after 3 years is that when you come back, you know, you only have a year, so you only have a couple of months. And then the most important thing, going back home, you know, so that you can go and reintegrate, meet your family, your friends again, come back to your family, not meet, come back to your family and friends, and life goes on, you understand? So it was really nice, you know. But the was it 10 months or 12 months, it dragged. Yeah, it dragged. Especially the last month, I was up to here. All I wanted to do was to come back home. I would cry, I would stress. My friend and I would go and chill and just think about coming home. Like, guys, it was really, really difficult. So I think I said most things about Cuba. It was really difficult studying in a different language. It was a culture shock. It was, you know, and we came back to South Africa. Reintegrating back to South Africa, I think it's a whole video on its own. Yeah, but learning in Spanish was doable as long as you put the effort and you put time, because like the learning the language was not that difficult, guys. I don't know for others, but for me personally, it was not that difficult. And then learning in Spanish again, it was really doable. I just feel like, you know, anything and everything that you put your time, like you give time and you focus on, it's very doable. So yeah, it was all fun, all games. It was so sad to know that you can't come home and you miss your family. Yeah, we made friends that became so close that we call family. We made enemies. We had to grow up super fast. That's the thing about going to Cuba. There is literally no one who's gonna wake you up in the morning to say, go bathe, now you have to go to class. You have to learn all those things by yourself. It was really difficult. And yeah, so we experienced a lot of difficulties as well, you know, in terms of communication with the departments, and you know, the things that we needed, laptops, books, etc. But would I do it again? Absolutely. I did a post last time. I would do it again. I would go to Cuba, because I feel like had I not gotten that opportunity to study in Cuba, I don't know where I would have been, because I knew that it's either I get a bursary or I do not have tertiary education. That was it. Either I get a bursary or I do not get tertiary education. And now the competition into getting into varsity in South Africa is real. It's tough. And then afterwards, studying medicine is really nice, because when you are done, you have a job. You understand? You have a job. At least for the first 3 years of your life, you are covered. You have a job. And then afterwards, I guess you'll see what happens, like post-com serve. So I am really grateful for the opportunity. I learned a lot of things. I grew up. I opened my eyes to seeing a lot of things. I became a totally different person, that even people that knew me before and get to meet me now, and they're like, hey, Ushenshile, you know. And even now, since I came back from Cuba to now, I'm also a different person. You know, you still meet people that were in Cuba and are still the same, or I don't know. But now for me, I've really changed. I've seen a lot of my friends also have really changed. Like, we have grown up. I think the change comes with growing up and maturing, just to be different individuals and want different things in life, and just aiming to be different. I think it's inevitable. So change is inevitable. I think I'm gonna end there, you know. On my next video, I don't know, please tell me in the comment section what you would like to hear about, and then I will tell you. Oh, I should talk about reintegration from Cuba to South Africa. Like, once you're done studying, because this was all Cuba. We got tattoos, we drank, we partied, we went to church, we did forex, we did a lot of things in Cuba. I do not think that everything would fit in a video, unless I get asked specific questions and I do like a Q&A. Maybe that's, yeah, like, what is it that you specifically want to know about my stay in Cuba and all. So from me to you, this is the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. If you got to this part of the video, I hope that you enjoyed, and please remember to leave questions in the comment section, and then I will see to it that I answer them. Thank you very much for watching. You know, subscribe, please, guys. Please, let's grow my channel. Please subscribe. Thank you. Bye.